What, talk to me a little bit about the relationship that you feel like you have with these teachers.
Well, I've known Tanya for years. We've worked together for many years, and it seems like she's approachable. I can approach her with things, and she seems to come to my office and check in about things and ask questions. So I feel pretty good about it. Jocelyn is new to our program, and I don't really know her that well at all. I haven't really had many interactions with her.
And how did dramatic play become kind of the central theme here?
The first time we observed their room, we were using the observation tool we were using. I don't even, actually, now that I think about it, I don't really think it had anything to do with the observation tool. Because I'm trying to remember if it even has anything about the different centers. Well, how it came about was I was in there and I noticed there was nothing in it. Like, it didn't seem like there was much going on in the dramatic play. Oh, there was shirts. It's been so long. There were shirts with buttons. And like these kind of buttons. And they didn't seem to match the dolls. And I was wondering, like, are the kids even, like, how, they're infants at that point. Like, what are they doing with all that material or lack of material in there? And so, I think it also came up on a Skype session with y'all.
Yeah.
And so I had a conversation with her outside of observation and Skype, and she's like, I'm not good at the dramatic play, and so I was just kind of following up on that, and I had noticed that it did look different. They moved it, they added new things. I didn't see any kids playing in it, but I did notice there was a change. So that's how it came up.
So what do you think is important in
the connection between the teachers and the child, the relationship, the trust, the attachment. So why was I asking about the dramatic play? Yeah, it's interesting. I think I got to that later. That you didn't. I mean, I do think that, I think.
Yeah, we're just seeing very small.
Yeah, but I think it's an interesting point because the tool itself starts with very much relationship-based questions, like, and not even to the second page does it get into, like, was there any concepts, like, did anyone work on any concepts or whatever, I can't remember exactly how that is. So I definitely, I hope that we got to that. So yes.
So when you're entering this feedback, reflective supervision session, particularly with these teachers, how are you feeling going in?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Like I need to be in charge of it. So like I wrote that down.
Say more about that.
Yeah, like I like a structure. I like things to be structured. And I got 1 hour or whatever, whatever the allotted time is, and so I want to get the job done, but I also want it to be genuine.
And what's the job?
The job is we are, we've all decided that we feel like it's important, and when I say we, I would say, the admin have decided that it's important to, and it's also a requirement, to do a certain number of observations, but then we want to take it one step further and have like these genuine conversations with the teachers to try to grow them, grow us, grow the situation, and but I feel like it's hard to schedule them. It's hard to get them done in the allotted time. There's always someone knocking at the door or whatever it is, and so as I watched that, I was noticing like, man, I'm trying to keep it together.
Right. And what's, I always think this is similar to, when teachers talk about classroom management. What's the fear if you don't keep it together? What do you think is going to happen?
I've never thought about that. My first thought would be like there's going to be some silence, and I noticed that like I'm just like, oh, that's a waste of time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I haven't really thought about that until right now, but that's what it feels like, you know. So there will be like silence. It might be uncomfortable. And then I'm not going to get my job done, and I'm going to go into supervision with my supervisor, and she's going to be like, "Why didn't you do? Why are these? Why aren't these feedbacks getting done? Or why? What if they're getting done? Why hasn't anything changed in room 247? Whatever, right?"
So, what do you think if you, having seen this, if you were going to start over, where would you start?
I would really want to kind of check myself about trying to, like, I would want to think about like this need to be in control of it, and then how to like maybe make it more of a process for the teachers versus like like, here's my question, boom, boom, like a back and forth, like answer my questions kind of thing. I don't know how I would do that. Really, I have to think about that.
What do you think might happen? So imagining the dramatic play in your head. What might it look like? Like what? Just give me like an opening statement that you might make, or an opening question that you might ask to shift that dynamic from the yes, no, kind of questions.
Well, I'm thinking about like just more of a general like how's it, like, I don't know, like how's it going in your classroom? How are you all feeling?
And how do you think this particular team would have responded to that?
It would be like fine, and I'd have to. I mean, this is what I'm thinking, right? And then I'd have to get more specific prompts going on. Like I'd have to get more specific questioning. But really, what this is making me think about is going back to really what's important in that classroom. And yeah, maybe I follow up with dramatic play just because it was a conversation that we had in a Skype session and in a hallway. But maybe I'm really trying to like, maybe it would be cool to like bring it back to what is really important for it, like how are you feeling? Like how is I'm thinking about how are you doing, teacher A and B? Because how you're doing is going to directly be impacting your little babies, and
And why is dramatic play important in an infant room?
In an infant room.
Yeah.
Well, they're toddlers a little bit now.
In an older infant room.
Exactly. I don't ever really think about a dramatic play in an infant room, to be honest with you. I've never really thought about it before. I can't think of the age range because this was maybe a month. I mean, that was definitely a toddler room during this conversation.
Okay.
So to answer your question, I am never really caring about what the dramatic play looks like in an infant room.
So the dramatic play is like a vehicle.
As far as this conversation goes, or in general? Like
in general.
Absolutely,
right? So
right.
Any of our curriculum is a vehicle
to get at, like to work your stuff out, like to play out, say embody your daddy or whatever it is,
Right. What do the teachers need to? What do the teachers need to be able to do that?
They need to know, they need to have a better understanding, or they need to have an understanding of like where their kids are developmentally, where their kids are individually, what they're working out, so they can create that environment. Wow, that's cool.
All right, so I can do this forever.
Yeah.
You get the point?
Yes.